I know that Representative Patterson said that we'd already debated this bill. There was no real reason for us to continue to go over those amendments over again. And I did speak against this bill the last time. So of course I'm going to speak against it again today, but I'll change it up a little bit. Yesterday was my birthday, and I have a tradition as an elected official to go refile on my birthday. I didn't know, I'm always surrounded by my mom and my dad, and I didn't know they were going to throw me a surprise birthday party because it was my 50th. And when I walked in, it was a great surprise. I didn't know that all the fruits of my grandparents on both sides that are still alive were going to be there. All my aunts, all my uncles, my cousins, my nieces, my nephews, all of us immigrants from Zacatecas. And I don't apologize, and I've said in the past that when my brother and sister Juan and Alejandra came, they were in the hands of my mother, Maria, and yes, they came here, as you would say, illegally. But yet I look around and I see doctors, nurses, realtors, business owners, pastors, real fruits, real stories of America, producing for this country. And this body's forgotten about it. So I have a question for all of you today, because you guys, many of you have done an incredible job of ignoring every single amendment that made sense here tonight. Probably could have got on Representative King's if we'd have had an opportunity to see that during second reading, and you'd have done good things for your local governments, but that didn't happen. So the question is, you as members, and you can keep talking, you don't have to pay attention, but this is an important question. When you push that red button or that green button, have you ever thought that it may or may not be a sin? Have you? Because I can assure you that it is. If the act of a law here becomes harm, even death, as I explained to you guys here when Officer Garrett Hull, the law enforcement officer fighting crime, not checking someone's immigration status first before you call in the police, but just fighting crime because he didn't care. Crime is crime. Well, he lost his life, and his family no longer had a father, a husband, a brother, gone. Was that act, for those of us that voted on that SB 4 in favor, are we responsible for that at all? And I would say we are. And I can assure you that this bill, people are going to get hurt. But we're in our bubbles. You don't live in my community or in the community of many of us like Ana Hernandez and Armando Wally, myself, Victoria Niave, that are surrounded by the immigrant community. Exactly the community that's being described that it's not going to call law enforcement. And yes, crime is going to get worse in Texas, in those communities. And it may just be one of your law enforcement officers that we've been asking far too much of them. And this bill asks a lot of law enforcement officers. Not to mention what it's asking our taxpayers to do, to take on a federal responsibility. It doesn't make sense to spend this kind of money. But when you have this kind of money, you don't have to have any sense. But I can assure you, when you vote red or green, I hope you're thinking about whether it's a sin or not, because it can be.
Chair recognizes Representative Flores.